PrymalChaos. Well, everybody, cut my life into pieces. This is our last resort. Classic song of the, I guess the, when was it? The early 2000s when they come out? Papa Roach, whatever. It was a thing. It was a massive song. It still is. Every time that intro comes on, anyone who's like, you know, like an older millennial or like a younger Gen Xer will lose their rag over it. So it's definitely a thing. Now, my only real experience with Falling in Reverse was Watch the World Burn, which I reacted to some time ago. And to be honest with you, it really blew me away. I mean, Ronnie is clearly adept at a lot of different things, a lot of different styles and genres. The production was amazing. Obviously, the music video was great. And you know, the rest of the band are killing it as well. There's some great, like, harmonized sweep picking solos and stuff. It's phenomenal. And again, much like Bring Me the Horizon, I love the fact that these guys can really pull a song in a bunch of different directions and leverage a whole bunch of different styles that really buck genre. Because as we all know, I'm not a big fan of genres. And any band that sort of crosses lines and has the balls to sort of move between genres is someone that I tend to usually connect with. I'm really way into that experimentation. This is interesting because, you know, there's something about this song, Last Resort, that has hip hop elements. You know, it's that kind of new metal era where everybody had a DJ and, you know, there was some rapping, you know, like, of course, you got Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and things like that as well. These guys were never a band that I super got into. I'm just kind of familiar with this song and this song only, as far as I know. Because as you all know, as someone who's always claimed to be a music fan, I've discovered through this channel that my musical diversity was far less obscure than I thought it was, and I'm learning a million new things a second on this channel, and that's what I love about it. Falling in Reverse, I have no idea what direction this is going to take. Will it be roughly the same as the original? I can't imagine why it wouldn't. Maybe they're just sort of juicing it up to be a little bit heavier, more modern sort of metalcore sort of style, or they could go in a completely different direction. I don't know. Anyway, just before we jump in, I just want to say this video today is brought to you by Enchroma. Enchroma make glasses for colorblind people like myself. If you or anyone you know is colorblind, do yourself a favor, click the link in my description. It'll take you to Enchroma's website where you can get a free eye test and find out if you have a deficiency and if so, what kind. And while you're there, you can pick up a pair of glasses that might help you see the world a little bit more like everybody else does. I'm a big fan. I use mine every day. You guys know the drill. Let's jump right in. Falling in Reverse, Last Resort Reimagined. Here we go. Wow, okay.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Okay, first of all, we're off to a start that I did not expect. But before we get too deep into the song, I just wanted to talk about some of these, because this is all clearly green screen, right? This is all like probably an Unreal Engine 5 backdrop or whatever. Or not even, maybe 4. But the camera movements, moving a camera in green screen is one of those things that's typically avoided if at all possible, because it involves, now you got to track the motion of the camera. You can get motion control cameras and jib arms and stuff. That might be what's going on here. But doing a shot like this, where the camera comes down and, you know, you got to match move all of this and you got to change the scale, because that's clearly really Ronnie walking on a green screen. But doing that swooping camera shot is not insignificant. It seems simple. Same as this one.
This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding.
Wow, okay.
This is my last resort. Cut my life into pieces. Erase my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong or it be right if I took my life tonight? Chances are that I might. night, mutilation out of sight, and I'm contemplating suicide. I'm contemplating suicide.
Wow, man. This is just beautifully reharmonized. Because, I mean, aside from the melody, which is being altered anyway, this is really, everything else you're hearing is essentially just rewritten from scratch. There's no, it's not, the chord choices and stuff I don't think are really that informed by the original material, which is interesting. I'm waiting for the drop. I'm waiting for it to switch gears and just blow my head off. But I think they're going to be a little bit more subtle with this one. I think they're going to probably take this through and gradually build, because you know Ronnie's going to scream. There's no way that he's going to get through this entire thing in this particular fashion the whole way through. At least I don't expect it. It's going to be really interesting to see how mature compositionally this is, whereby they take it all the way through to the end, and are they going to slowly ramp up to a more extreme ending, or are they going to just drop the ball at some point and just hit it hard like halfway through? I don't know, and I'm not even sure what I'd prefer, to be honest. It wasn't lost on me though that the wallpaper in these shots kind of matches the brocade pattern on his suit, which is, again, this is why you hire good 3D artists. They know what's up. All right, here we go. I'm going to jump back a bit because I really kind of want to get the vibe. And also, I didn't know Ronnie could sing like this. Kind of feel like a verse where Amy Lee pops in would make sense.
Cut my life into pieces, embrace my last resort, suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong or it be right if I took my life tonight? Chances are that I might. Mutilation out of sight, and I'm contemplating suicide. I'm contemplating suicide. 'Cause I'm losing my sight,
Nice.
losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. I am fine.
Wow, he's got a head voice. How about that?
I never realized I was spread too thin, till it was too late and I was empty within. Feeding on chaos and living in sin. Downward spiral, where do I begin? It all started when I lost my mother. No love for myself and no love for another.
Here we go.
Find a lover on a higher level, finding nothing but questions and devils. 'Cause I'm losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Losing my sight, losing my mind. Wish somebody would tell me I'm fine. Nothing is
Wow, that's so cool. And yet again, Ronnie's flexing his godlike powers. That was orders of magnitude better than I was expecting. First of all, my fears that it was going to drop the ball a little bit and just sort of devolve into like a metal cover when they've set the groundwork for such a beautiful, thoughtful, emotional piece. Completely out the window now. Like that was so beautifully subtle. I love the fact that they dragged out, I mean, the song, because there's not a lot of content in the song to begin with, you do have to be quite repetitive and, sort of call back to different parts of the song in order to make a song, right? So there's a lot of repetition, but every time there's something a little bit more nuanced or a little bit bigger, or, the strings will swell a little bit harder or something. And then when it gets to that bridge, like it's just so moving, and it's all that sort of cinematic. I don't want to use words like contrived or anything. Like it's all planned and all that, because it takes away from what you're feeling in the moment. But this reminds me of one of those songs that they would play in the sound, like in the credits of like a Transformers movie or something like that. A big budget Hollywood blockbuster where the world's at stake and all that sort of thing. But, with a little bit of a harder edge because it's, falling in reverse rather than someone like, I don't know, Lara Fabian or someone singing it, right? But I love that they sort of they built it up perfectly. They used, Ronnie or whoever produced it, they used a lot of nuance to slowly build and build and build. And then it sort of peaks about halfway through. I'm going to guess somewhere around here.
Spiral, where do I begin?
There's this big chorus bolstered by these big cinematic strings, big powerful notes. This part reminds me, actually, I was thinking when I was watching this part here, these big sweeping camera angles and these big orchestral movements and things like that, and Ronnie giving a passionate performance, it reminded me more of something like what a contemporary opera singer would bring if they released like a pop version of sort of like more of an opera piece, right? Except that'd be no instead of But, all of that big, I mean, I can imagine like a young Italian opera singer and they've produced a track for him and it's this big sweeping cinematic opus. That's kind of what this reminded me of, right? But then it builds up through here and then it drops away into like what I guess is kind of like more of a bridge part right here. Even that, like how cinematic does that sound with the, it sounds like a movie soundtrack. And then everything pauses and then we get introspective, change everything up. We've got gang vocals now or backing vocals. But what I love about the concept of the music video is, again, when I mentioned like it's all, just about to say Ollie, Ronnie, I just did a Bring Me the Horizon reaction. Give me a break. Ronnie, he's got this thing with the character of these recent songs is that there's like this God tier level of power. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, but I like it. I'm here for it, right? Where the power, the concept here is that the power of his emotions and his feelings are enough to reverse the damage done, right? And you see that here because everything pauses while he builds up to this moment, right? And there's these beautiful sort of frozen in time moments. And then as soon as he starts pushing back with his power of emotions and his energy, suddenly everything starts fixing itself and going back. And I love that he's slowed it right down here. He could be doing a number of other things. Yeah. And then the chorus is lifting. He's not singing the same melody. He's pushing the melody up higher and harder and more emotion and getting into more of a like a fry scream kind of a sort of more nuanced performances throughout, like melodically throughout this part. And everything just starts to reverse. Like he's Superman flying around the world to turn back time to save Lois. Like that's the whole thing. And then you think, this is kind of like this personal journey of like healing, right? But then at the very end, the camera pans right out after everything locally has fixed itself. And then the power of Ronnie's emotions has saved the devastation of the world. I'm in. I'm 100% in. I freaking love this. Yeah, this was really good. You know, when I heard that they did this, I actually heard, full disclosure, I saw on TikTok, he was with the singer of Papa Roach, and he was showing him the start of the song, right? And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And in my head, I was kind of thinking, oh, he's just done a little side project thing for fun, you know, and it's kind of cool, but probably nothing will come of it. And then I saw that this dropped and that it had a music video and everything. And I'm like, well, again, you know, sometimes bands will do like a little, it's almost like a half release. It's not really a single, but they've done a project and they've made like a video clip on a weekend or something, you know, that's half decent, you know, but it's not there to try and sell albums. It's probably more of a passion project video. But then and this happens and I'm like, oh, this is really beautifully put together, really brilliantly produced, recorded. The music video itself is absolutely stunning. And I'm aware that these days making a video like this isn't like what it used to be, right? This is effects that you would see in a movie like 10 years ago. And you just wouldn't expect to see that in a music video, particularly one that's like a cover song or something for a band, right? But yeah, like, and it is definitely easier to do this, but easy and doing something easily and doing something well are two very different things. And this was done particularly well. Like you can even see the chroma key on this freeze frame here is really good. Like all the detail in his hair and everything is there and the flyaways and stuff. It's absolutely stunning. But more than anything, emotionally, it does capture you, especially if you're prone to sort of buying into, you know, cinematic sort of emotional music and stuff like that. Symphonic metal is a big one, but more than anything, there's a specific subgenre of music that's really designed for movies, right? And this feels like that sort of genre. But anyway, this was a really pleasant surprise. I'm stoked. But anyway, that's about all I got to say. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by buying me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description, or you can just hit super thanks under the video. That's also incredibly helpful as well. Also like, share, follow, subscribe. If you know anyone who might enjoy this reaction, send it to them. I love getting my message out to more and more people, but thanks again, guys. I appreciate you. This was a great surprise. Tell me whether or not this is what you expected in the comments, or, you know, if you 100%, I didn't know Ronnie could sing, right? I mean, I've heard him rap like a demon and I've heard him scream like a banshee, but I've never heard him sing. And there's some subtlety in this, you know, as far as pulling up into like head voice notes and things like that, especially someone who's been screaming for such a long time. It's not always a given that that's a possibility, right? So yeah, this was really cool. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks again, guys. Stay primal. I'll catch you in the next one.